Rolling back into another very, very special episode here on BallinVA. Very special episode. But before I get to the legend that we have in studio, I'll pay tribute to, I would say, the people that pay the bills. We want us to know that we're over on Patreon now. You can support us on there. Many tiers available for support that have different benefits, and we'll have merchandise dropping soon as well, so follow the show for updates. You can also subscribe and like the video for free right here on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Leave us a comment on this video and let us know your favorite part of this episode. Now I get to introduce this guest here. Very, very special to me. It's like having family in the house. He was a legend over at Ferguson High School, where both his football and basketball jerseys are retired. Even Heritage, after Ferguson closed down, went ahead and retired his jersey.
That's dope.
Then he went on over and became a standout at our alma mater, fellow Wahoo Wah over here, UVA, and led the ACC in pass efficiency at 151 in 97. Is in the record books over there on numerous different categories over there in Charlottesville. Then went on to the NFL, started with the Packers, then became a standout with the New Orleans Saints, eventually leading them to their first playoff victory in franchise history. A Pro Bowler numerous times. He was inducted to the New Orleans Sports Hall of Fame in 2014. And when he retired back in 2007, he did retire with the most yards and touchdowns. I am talking about, well, before I even get into that, I got to say one more thing that is huge. He is a very big presence in the community, giving back in numerous ways, including the Aaron Brooks Foundation over there and multiple real estate developments in the Tidewater area. Now, I can introduce the one, the only, Aaron Brooks. Thank you so much for being here, sir. It is, my God, we are so happy to have you here.
Yes, sir.
Over in the front seat over here, we do have Larry in the house, the encyclopedia himself. He is here as well. All of us are in studio. Man, Aaron, what's it been, like 20 years?
Yeah, it's been a minute. I could say, shoot, girl, probably pushing 25.
Pushing 25?
Yeah.
Easy. We come in 94?
Yep.
94. I think I ran into you in Richmond maybe 5-10 years ago or so. Just we exchanged numbers, and I it's so good to see you. I mean, when I saw you walk in the studio, I felt like we were back, just walking right back up to the BBS. I mean, come on now, I got to holler out the BBS.
Right, black bus stop.
Black bus stop. That's the black bus stop at UVA. Yeah. But yeah, I want to talk to you. Where did it all start for you? I met you back in 94, but there was so much that happened before that. Tell us where it all began. I know you grew up in Newport News.
Yeah, but, I'm from downtown Newport News, born and raised, 16th Street.
All right.
All the way down. And it really started, really down there in the neighborhood.
Right.
Obviously, I had older cousins.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, you got to realize it was community involvement. So we were playing outside.
Yeah.
So you ain't get to go to no gym unless it was the boys club.
Right.
But it started outside playing softball, baseball down at Anderson Park.
What?
And I mentioned softball because it was my sister played softball.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
And so, the community come out and we'll get a softball game going on.
Come on.
Yeah. We'll play sandlot football or hot ball or whatever you want to call it.
If it had a ball, y'all played.
Yeah,
right?
Tag, tackle. But it started when I was 8. We went out to play baseball at Anderson Park. They got me to go play baseball, and they was like, after the baseball, he was like, "Yo, you want to play football?" I'm like, "Oh no," because my brother is older.
Okay.
My cousins obviously are older, and so it was like I was the youngin' out of the group.
Okay.
And they convinced me to play, and it was. It became something I really enjoyed. But other than that, a lot of my talents also came from the Boys and Girls Club on Hampton Avenue.
All right. All right.
And so after school, my free time or in the summer, go to the boys club, get some free lunch, and just stay there the entire day. You know, play basketball, horseshoes, war ball, go to the pool,
competitive
game room. So
anything. Was y'all talking smack then too?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I kind of grew into that.
Yeah,
you know? I kind of grew into that. But yeah, it started in the neighborhood downtown Newport News. It was just all about, for me, sports. I mean, at that time, you got to realize it was in the 80s.
Okay.
Right? And so, you know, you had a drug epidemic going on. And, you know, there's no shame in me saying this, but my brother was in the streets a little bit. And he was like, yo, don't be following me, man. Go on about your business. So he never allowed me, you know, I love him for that. He never allowed me to follow him or go be a part of the things that they were doing in the streets.
Right.
And that was huge. And so what else was there for me to do? So, you know, I had a few friends around the way. Would be the three of us playing baseball, fast pitch baseball with a tennis ball. You know, or
what position did you play?
I was pitcher, shortstop.
Makes sense.
Played second base in high school.
All right.
Played a little outfield. And so right then, I never had that opportunity to see anything outside of sports because of, you know, what my brother did not allow me to do. You know, and so, you know, so sports became my thing.
Okay.
And that's kind of how it all began, outside of the boys club, but definitely in the community, in the neighborhood, you know.
Got you. Now, I knew about basketball. I didn't know about baseball. Between the three, which was your favorite? And what made you go to football?
You know, every kid loves basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't. I love it to this day, to be honest. I really do. If you ask my mom, I know you're asking me, you ask my mom, she'll say baseball.
Okay, okay.
You know, I did some, you know, pretty incredible things. I had a very strong arm.
Okay.
You know, obviously. Yeah, and I could throw the ball. Was a pretty good fielder as well. My bat was all right. You know, my bat was all right. But, you know, it becomes a time in high school you got to make a choice, right? And I tried baseball for 2 years, my freshman year and my senior year. Senior year, I was blind as a bat. I needed contacts, glasses, or something.
I do remember seeing you in glasses. You did wear glasses sometimes. My
vision failed me.
Yes. Took me till 40, but they gone. They gone.
I know that's right.
They gone.
I know that's right. But you know, basketball, we had some success. You know, things had changed during the course of my life that really took me developing my skills, or one reaching out and helping develop my skills in basketball. And but I had tremendous respect on the football field as being a quarterback, tall, lanky quarterback that can throw the ball. And so I just really made the best decision there was to go what was hot at the time. Although I had a few offers in basketball, but it was nothing compared to what football was offering.
Okay.
And so I said, you know what? You know, I didn't think I was going to college or know what college was at the time, but I was like, yo, I'm gonna do football.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So you're back in high school before you chose. I'm gonna ask you that in a second, but you're in high school and you decided, you know, football was the way. Now, there was so much talent at that time while you were there. I was research. You're getting some battles against. They called him Bubba Chuck, but Allen Iverson over there.
That's right.
You were doing that in high school. So were there some epic battles y'all were having back then? You know, like, can you think of some times when, you know, I can't imagine seeing you two on the field at the same time, but I mean, that had to have been happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had. I had some shining moments, but like we weren't that good. I mean, bless my teammates, but we weren't that good in football.
Okay.
We barely won like 3-4 games in the season.
Yeah.
That's right, and it was crazy. We just didn't have the depth. We didn't have the talent, the size. So although we was out there trying the hardest to compete, we just couldn't. We just wasn't good enough as a team overall.
Okay.
And so one may ask, how you make it? Well,
That's what the next.
Well, I had a 6'3" wide receiver by the name of Eric Jones.
Okay.
Eric Jones could fly, and obviously he was tall and he had very soft hands. And Tommy Ream put us in the offense that was pretty conducive to our skill sets, but we had to, show that we could try to run the ball. So it was one of those waggle offenses.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we fronted on the run and just went deep.
Every time.
We went deep straight up.
All right.
I put it out there about 60, 65 yards. E. Jones would go get it like it was nothing. So it's like butter, baby.
Okay. I love it. I love
butter.
it.
So
you guys were having those battles, and you're having to kind of carry the whole team, you and E, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that? Let me ask you, what made you go from having to be the whole team? Because I mean, obviously y'all were. If y'all won like 3 out of, I don't know how many games y'all were playing back then.
I don't know,
but
9,
about 9 games. So 3 out of 9 games.
Yeah.
Did that have any factor in you choosing UVA at the time, or did that have any factor into what schools you were actually looking at? I know schools were coming after you, 6'4", long, can get out of the pocket, throw out of the pocket, can run, can do all those things, and had an arm that could go 60, 70 yards. So I know you had other folks looking at you.
That's funny because I wasn't even running back then.
You weren't?
Nah, I was slinging.
He was slinging it.
So the battles came in. Obviously, you talk about Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
They had a really good defense, right? And he was very talented as well offensively. My work came in and slicing them up for 350.
All right.
We ain't win, but if we put up 29s, team gonna score 30 plus.
Okay.
So no matter what we did on the field, the other team got the best of us, and props to them. But when it came to that time, as far as college recruiting, they basically chose me. But I did have some things that a checklist or a punch list that I wanted to check off when it was time to meet the criteria of what university I was going to. And that was being a black quarterback. Did they play black quarterbacks? Right?
I was going there later.
Yeah, and what was the graduation rate? Because that's what my mom wanted to see. She was like, "You're going to graduate. The hell with everything else. You're going to graduate." At what point were you willing to get on the field? Like some kids think they like that and want to go and play right away. But I knew I wasn't going to play right away.
Okay.
I just didn't have enough football in me, to go to say I'm going to go start and play right away. So I had a time period in red shirts sophomore year. And I think the last one was the school graduation rate from the football program.
Okay.
And, UVA fit all that criteria.
Okay.
I wanted to go to Maryland. We wouldn't be probably sitting here if I went to Maryland, but I wanted to go to Maryland. But I'm glad I went to UVA because, they played Sean Moore and Bobby Goodman. When I got there, Simeon
Willer. Yeah.
Well, I can't say we. So, yeah, that's kind of how, it ended up at UVA. It was close to the crib, too, so it was like, we ain't got no paper, we ain't got no money. I couldn't. Yep. I could go to Florida State, Miami, UCLA, Notre Dame. I couldn't do all that. I mean, I probably could. I might have been miserable. So I was like, somebody can get me to school if I needed to.
Good
point. Good point.
Go ahead, Larry. I'll talk his head off about UVA. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Man, that it was funny when you said that because everybody wants to go with the sexy colleges. Why did you want to go to Maryland? What did you like about Maryland?
Because they threw the ball.
Okay.
And, that's what I did.
That's what you did.
UVA was more of a run base.
That was run base. And I got fortunate because we had Sparky Woods, our offensive coordinator. He had been in a pro-style system, and we both basically got George Welsh like, yo, you got to open this up.
Right. I remember we come to the games. It was run left, run right, run up the middle. I mean, run outside, run inside.
We got some great running backs and some great offensive linemen. But
Definitely.
we needed to throw the ball. And it was going to be a waste if they didn't. And, those 2 years, 97, 98, and that's when we started throwing the rock.
That's when we started.
Wow. And it's crazy because then it was recruiting Ronald Curry behind you and thinking that he was going to come there, as well.
Yeah, that was a big mess on campus.
Oh.
No,
That was a big mess.
That was a mess. Yes, that was a mess.
Yeah, they cut it out. You going to do what?
Yeah, it was a whole lot of mess.
Let's see what it's going to be. What it's going to be. Let's do it.
So, I want to chime in a little bit here because you and I kind of went through some similar things our first 2 years. My first year, it's funny when I say freshman first because you know how we do up there. We'll call it first, but most people call it freshman. I came in as a medical red shirt. You red shirted. And then what happened your second year? Because didn't they change coaches there, right in there somewhere?
No. George Welsh stayed there the entire time.
The entire time you were there?
Yeah, entire time. The second year I was there, let me see that we were there. It was a big stink about, I think, the Simeon Willis, Mike Rowe situation.
Okay.
Right? And then
okay.
my actually true redshirt sophomore season, they tried to throw Tim Sherman in there as a fifth-year senior.
Yes, I remember. Yes, thank you.
So we end up sharing time and doing all that.
So stupid stuff. So you pretty much, we're kind of on your toes, ready to get in here, and you're dealing with the madness there for your first 2 years. What do you think kept you stable? What do you think kept you, mind on the goal? I know what I got. I know who I am. I know what they have sitting here. What kept you focused on, what, regardless of what they think or whatever's going on right now, one left, one, whatever they're doing, I'm Aaron Brooks. I know what I got. Like, how did you get through that? First 2 years and then, rising to the top like you did in 97, 98?
Well, I had to remember it was part of the plan. My coach almost sabotaged it. Reem almost sabotaged it. Oh, you just go to transfer, you don't play him and this and that. But it was my abilities and believing in myself because
yes, sir.
when we first stepped on campus and I got to know my teammates, that entire class.
Hey, y'all was tight.
Yeah, we was and we didn't give a fuck. It was just like, yo, we come to do our thing.
Right.
So,
Right.
Fuck what you heard.
Right.
But I think
Love it.
I think seeing, and we talked about this on the phone, it's like seeing as a true freshman, Jermaine Crowell step on the field.
Step on the field. I remember that. Yep.
So Welsh was like, we just fresh on campus. Our first game against Florida State. He was like, Crowell, you're starting. And we was like, what? Gee, you about to start against Florida State, nigga? I was like, okay. Following year, Poindexter ended up starting with the hosts of arguably some of the greatest linebackers I've ever seen to play the game.
Yep.
With
Potsy.
James Farrah, and
Sharper.
Jamie Sharper. And he got on. It was like, yo, what the fuck, yo? I'm trying to.
I'm trying to get up here.
Yeah, my boys.
What?
My boys in here really doing their thing, you know?
Where me
And
at?
then we win against Florida State at home. And
Oh,
two
yeah.
of the-
We're
two of our-
crazy.
two of the-
I remember that.
Yeah, and,
Yes.
and two of our classmates were
Burnham.
Burnham
Yes.
and Dex was
And Dex was in on it.
instrumental in
Yep.
stopping
That
Warrior
stop.
Knight. So
Stop
it
on the
was
line.
like, man, when is my turn? Yo, what the fuck?
Right.
We partied that night. Oh, that town went crazy. We was on the 50. Yes, I remember that night.
That was official.
Woo!
Official.
They was what, number one in the country? They had Warwick Dunn and
Something
all
like
them.
that.
Something like that.
Yeah,
They was number one in
great,
ACC for sure.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I think that might have been their first loss in the ACC, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, I remember that play now. I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
God, they stopped him right there. I remember that. Warwick was trying to get in.
So I just started getting, I started to see and understand what it was about. Like first 2 years, you fresh out of high school, you just on campus, you got all these, you know what I mean? It's a lot going on, you know what I mean?
You gonna
It's
call it a lot going on.
you know? And so I saw that I had an opportunity, and I just, try to I made the best out of it, but I felt like I was pressing.
Okay.
Because my opportunity was limited. Coach gave the job to the 5th-year senior, and excuse me, and he would do a decent job, but when we got in trouble, it called me to go in the game. Like, Brooks, get in the game. Like, yo, you put me in this fucked up situation.
Don't you hate that?
You know what I mean?
Now, get up.
Put your cape on, Brooks. You got to go say these dudes.
Oh,
So,
don't you hate that?
but
God.
the crazy thing about it, it didn't go my way as it planned.
Okay.
Although I made some good plays, but a lot of my plays weren't good plays because they were immature passes that I made.
Just young.
Just being young,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like throwing in a double coverage. So if you look at my stats, you'd be like, yo, this guy was garbage that year. I had like 1 touchdown, 7 picks. Well, I never started any of those games.
Right. You kind of
And,
got thrown in.
But all the seniors, they believed them, and they was like, yo, we believe you should be starting. But it won't their call. And
Right.
so I had an opportunity one last time before that season ended to go in the game against Miami in the, I think it was the Conquest Bowl, down in Miami.
Okay.
And I went in there, I did my thing, and he snatched me real quick, and I was like, what the fuck? Everybody's like, yo, what's up? You not going back in the game?
So Coach Welch made that
Coach
call?
Welch made the call.
Wow.
So, because what he would do in his defense, he would put the younger kid in the game for the experience,
Right.
right? But here's a 5th-year guy that was out the door with no potential future ahead of him in the sport. And but I guess he heard what was going on. He threw me back in there. And
Yeah, he needed to do that.
we ended up losing the game, but it was I guess that was somewhat my coming out party.
Yes, because it's funny. Larry's the one that got me on a couple of years back to tell my story, and he was asking me about UVA, and he was asking me about Monacan and stuff like that. And I hadn't talked about any of this stuff for like 20 years, so I'm literally trying to remember this stuff as he's asking me these questions. And so as you're sitting here talking about the story and what happened at UVA, I'm sitting here remembering watching you and watching some of these plays and sitting here thinking, oh my God, we were all like, why isn't Aaron in the game?
Yeah.
Like, that was, you had a cheering squad. I can remember now that I'm sitting here thinking back, because you're talking about Tim Sherman, you're talking about Grow was there, and we were all just sitting there like, okay.
See, it was crazy because Tim never played during that time. Like when he was at school, he never got on the field.
in.
He never got on the field. Then to add to that, his father was the receivers coach. So
See the correlation.
yeah, so you're like, man, they just trying to get a small chance, like this some bull.
You already
I'm trying to tell you.
already know.
I'm trying to tell you.
Politics as usual.
That's what I mean, man. We had some similar. I mean, freshman year, first year, I redshirt, right, and Tora was there. I was playing 1 and 2, so Tora was a freshman, and then I redshirt her sophomore year, and then on her third year, now she's gotten 2 years and got under her belt. I'm coming in trying to play, so now it's like, well, you need to play the 2. By that time, Jenny Boo was there, and they doing their thing at the 2. So then they go recruit Renee.
Right,
so here I am
okay.
coming out ready to finally play, getting my shine. Everybody's seen what I could do in practice. Everybody's like, why are you not in the game? And then Debbie, it's just started being like, we're going to put the freshman in for experience. She'll come in, she'll play a few minutes. But here's the thing, Tiffany, I want you to come in and make sure you lock everybody down. You coming in the end when we need you the most. Same thing. I'm with you. That's exactly what happened. Like, Renee would start.
Put that cape on.
And then, all right, Tiffany, you come in. She'll start for 10 minutes, but you're going to be in when it mattered. So I'm with you on that. It was a lot of growing pains there, I would say, maturity level. Because when you feel like you have that kind of talent and you're just sitting there and waiting, and other people are sitting there telling you, why you ain't in the game? Why you ain't in the game? You have to answer those questions around campus.
Yep.
Everybody saw it.
Yep.
So,
Right.
you've always been close to my heart because I felt like we kind of went on the same path while we were there. Of course, our life went completely different after UVA, and you just skyrocketed. I just went a whole different way. But point is, I remember that now, like sitting here talking to you,
But little do people know that makes people like you and I stronger. Overcoming that type of adversity. It's just, you can't really explain it, but to some people, because they'll never understand that because they don't get it. You know what I mean? It's like, you never complain about being held back or whatever have you. It's just, you just have this innate ability to have that strength from within.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, we did it though.
We did it. We did our thing.
We did it.
And I was telling Larry this when we had our interview, the same thing. Like, all those things are stripes that just get you stronger and stronger and stronger. And so whenever anything hits you in life, you can relate back to those moments and go, if I went and got through that, I can get through this.
Right.
And, you and I haven't talked in a while, but there's been some things that have happened in my life, and people look at me and go, well, how do you keep moving? How do you keep moving forward? And we'll catch up. But yeah, it's just what God gives you, he doesn't give you anything more than you can bear. And I think a lot of those experiences through my childhood, through that UVA experience, was able to help me continue to keep moving forward and continue to think about others first and continue to think about how you're going to impact others.
Right.
And that's one of the good reasons I look back on those experiences and think, those are good things because you learn so much from it.
Oh, yeah.
And we hadn't even gotten to your NFL career because you had to go through that same thing there.
Yeah. But, like a university like UVA, you're going to earn everything that you get. And it really, to me, and what people don't get is that, because, like to your point, is like, it's not the glamorous college. Like, we don't have 5 national football championships. Right. We don't have 3-4 basketball national championships. Right. You know what I mean? And so we looked at it and depicted as an academic school, right? Which is fine, right? Okay, yeah. But at the same time, it really prepares you for the world.
That's it.
UVA has done a great job preparing students for the world.
Amen.
And it ain't about the culture. You know what I mean? It's about the future and how you able to contribute to society. And I thought UVA did a great job.
Yes,
contributing.
I'm with you on that. Yes, sir. Amen.
Yeah, I just want to put that out there.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
You catch that. They be like, man, UVA, like, cut it
No,
out.
no,
man.
no, no, no.
right.
You must be a Tech fan, a bandwagon. You've been bandwagon
No.
since, you know.
No.
See,
Like,
I agree with you on that part.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I tell people throughout the state, it was always UVA. And it seems like that turn came when Michael Vick came there, then the whole state became Tech fans,
right.
you know. And it's just like, you know, you can go to other states. Like Texas is going to always be Texas, no matter how Texas A&M or Texas Tech do. It's going to always be Texas. But for whatever reason, it just, I don't know if it was the drop, but the talent was always there. But just always wondered that. And that's where you get those fair
Well,
weather
it is
fans.
what it is. I mean, you know, we lost a legend on a football field in George Welsh, and his ability to, you know, get the most out of his coaches in terms of the recruiting process.
Absolutely.
And you know, we started losing that battle because the guys coaches that was coming in, they couldn't relate to the kids
Right.
that was coming up. You know, and that and when you do that and you lose to state rivals, you know, to your state rivalry is you know, it makes it lopsided.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but you know, we back on the verge. We still on the grind. We ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
we still the
know.
best #1 institution.
Why?
Well, you know, they was going
Why?
down to 757. Tech started doing what y'all was doing early on.
Yeah,
And that changed the game a little bit,
yeah, it's,
you know, with the addition of losing Coach Wells.
yeah. It's just all copycat system. So yeah.
They will never say that, though.
nah, they feel it themselves right there. Bunch of rejects, but we're not gonna go there.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Yep.
But yeah, to piggyback off of that, you know, like I said, I have some of the best relationships with some of the folks back at UVA, and I would never trade that experience for anything because, again, at the end of the day, you do become something through the journey. And as you look back, you know, the journey is what got you there. And I will say this, though. I'm going to ask you, what do you think that maturity came from for you as you going through that? I mean, because all of us are young. We all want to be out there. We all want to show what we can do. We all want to, you know, we're used to playing. So where do you think that came from, being able to kind of wait for the process to happen? Because you said there was a process and you knew at the end you were going to get here. But what do you think was keeping you grounded as you're waiting for that to happen?
A good friend always told me it's birthdays. So the more birthdays you have, the more understanding that you get. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so I think over
That's
the
deep.
years, I started realizing this is what I have to do. This is what I have to do. And this is what I can't do.
Okay.
And so I started to understand the do's and don'ts. But also remain who I was, you know, or who I am at the time. And looked at a little differently at times, you know what I mean? But, you know, said some things that probably regretted, but, you know, it's whatever. That's being young, that's being youthful, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, this stuff don't come with a manual, right? So some of the stuff, I was a good kid, you know, I'm a good dude. I grew up respectful, respecting my elders. But, you know, things happen in life that make people act out in a certain way.
Right.
I had plenty of them.
I had some situations where I acted out, and then it took someone to say that, no, you can't do this, don't, you know what I mean? Bring it back, you can't do this, can't do that. But overall, by the time I was done, it was like, you know, it's having that self-awareness. You know, what's the next 5 gonna be like? 5 years gonna be like, you know, am I willing to do this? Are you willing to do that? You know, can you get out here in the corporate world and you know, make a living? You know what I mean? So, you know, I had like major obstacles to overcome, but at the same time, I'll just contribute that to the birthdays and and just learning off of experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Learning off experience, you learn what not to do. You know, for real.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Amen.
I'm
to
with
that.
you on that one.
Yeah.
You just learn to say, okay, here's the goal. Let's work backwards from the goal. Like this is what I'm planning on doing. So I realize I got to do these baby steps, even if there's steps I don't want to do,
Right.
things I don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, places I don't want to go.
Yeah.
You know, that's the maturity is recognizing it's something that I don't want to do. I don't feel like I should be doing, that it's not fair. You know, if you signed up for fair, don't come on into life. You know, and you just realize it over and over. Okay, this is the goal. And if I got to get to the goal, then these are the steps.
But you know what? It was, I was okay with that, though.
Mm-hmm.
I was okay with not having, because I never had it. Can't miss nothing you never had, right?
It's true.
So I was okay. I was never feeling like, you know, I had to be front and center, you know, because the goal in mind was to really graduate from school, get a job, put some food on the table.
All right.
You know what I mean? So
You were doing that.
I was, you know, I never felt compelled to have a posse with me.
Right.
You know, I never felt compelled that I had to be the guest in the club. You know what I mean? I won't pop in no bottles and nothing like that.
Right.
You know, I wasn't.
No, you weren't.
I didn't fall to the traps. I didn't fall for the peer pressure. None of that. You know what I mean? So I was okay not having certain things that our culture was presenting to us to feel or to look in a certain aisle or feel important.
Yeah, everybody want to be in the front. You know,
Yeah.
everybody want to be in the front.
Yeah.
But somebody got to play number two.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and like my people, they ain't understand it. Like, they ain't, just gotta remember, Chuck went number one.
Right.
And my few years I get in, I'm in the league. Vic number one.
Right.
Overall.
Yeah.
Right.
So they coming with tons of money.
Right.
You know, tons of people or whatever their crew was like. And I'm like, so.
Yeah, and you get
I'm
yeah,
straight
you
moderate.
get
Like, I'm
Right.
good. Like,
And some people don't know he's a cousin of yours, correct?
yeah, it's second cousin.
Second cousin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, okay, do your thing. I'm good over here. I show y'all love. I go to, you know, like I go to the games, but I won't accent or trying to be a part of it.
right.
You know what I mean? And I used to fly to Atlanta, go see Vic, you know, just show him some love, but I won't trying to be a part of it.
Right.
Right.
I'm here if you need me, holler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
but I'm going to keep it 100 and I'm going to keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it's always been for me. So, yeah.
What about when you think back to UVA? What are your fondest memories? Like, what are your best games, best memories? What moments come out for you when you think back?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What moments shine?
It's a lot of moments. I'm just going to start spitting out some stuff. You know, outside of the sport, it was really getting to know people like yourself, Tiffany, and trying, you know, understanding where people coming from, the localities, knowing that we got some, you know, fellow athletes that's cool, that's
Right,
down.
from all over.
You know, it's no ill intentions behind it. You know, that always made my day. Even when Don Staley came back, I was like, yo, you know,
flabbergasted.
I was balling in,
right.
I'm balling in Slaughter with
Slaughter.
Staley, like, yo, Staley, shoot that button.
Right.
Staley.
Right.
You know, that was crazy.
My moments for sure. First time seeing her. Wow.
Men's basketball, going up in U-Haul, skipping study hall.
Yeah.
Yo, I go to the game tonight. We got Carolina tonight, yo.
Right.
Yeah, with that.
Whatever, man.
Right.
I'm out, fellas.
I'm out.
I'm cold, man. I got to see this.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, those is like crazy, man.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh man. Just you know, also on campus, just you know, being, you know, just like it was like in awe of the campus itself.
So beautiful.
it was like crazy. I remember stepping off the school bus and across from the BBS, going to class.
Yep, right
See
there.
thousands of people just going to their classes. I'm like, what the fuck? Where they going? Where I supposed to go? What's happening?
Yeah, I can imagine that.
It was like thousands.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to your viewers, give you a good perspective. I'm a young black kid, 18 years old from downtown Newport News.
Right.
Campus at
You're
UVA.
not used to seeing that.
I see a sea of white folks.
Yeah,
Right.
not used to that.
It's like where my people's at? Where my people's
Right.
at? I see white folks. Just like everybody just.
It's a whole different.
Yo.
It's a whole different breed, man.
Yo.
Oh man, I'll never forget that. I was like, yo, I gotta get with it. Like, what?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Either I'm gonna get with it or
Yeah.
we're gonna do something else.
But yeah, taking it back to why I was there. Besides academics, it was my first start against Auburn.
All right.
They had some hitters over there. Tequila Spikes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we know about that dude.
Yeah, I
51
mean,
for the Bengals.
Coach prepared us very well, and
Shout out to Tequila Spikes.
but that was my first start. We played them at home. We get to Bryan Hall at the time, right? And all this blue and orange is a ESPN Saturday night game, and all this blue and orange is waiting for us to get off the bus. I'm like, yes, sir, this is gonna be hype tonight. We got to get it tonight, right? And so we get off the bus. We saw all these shirts with AU on it. Like, what the hell?
That ain't the one, right?
Like, nah, this is Auburn. Like, oh, they up in here tonight.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But I was proud of the performance we put out. We lost, but personally, it was a personal best. My first start, I threw for 300 yards that game.
All right now.
Terrence Wilkins showed off.
All right
Yeah,
now.
he
I
was
remember
nice,
little
too.
T. Wilt.
Yeah, T.
Yes.
Wilkins, Jermaine Crowell.
Yes.
They was like they was tough.
He played for the Colts for a second, right?
Yeah.
He was their running back.
T.
I mean, their special teams guy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, T. Wilkes. There's a lot of memorable games, that I've had. But I think what stood out the most is the camaraderie I had with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
We did some crazy stuff. But I tell you what, if we party hard the night before, you can best believe we was on that field first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
ready
no
to rock and
choice.
roll.
Right.
And we had a good time. Get your ass up, let's go. Whether it was winter workout,
Right.
or we was just had practice in general. It was and that really strengthened our bond, and we was able to have tremendous success before we left the school. That entire
Yes.
class. It's just it's just so memorable. Just knowing how tight a group of guys can become, and I was kind of searching for that, and it never happened again.
Never happened.
Like, yo, what happened?
Right.
But,
No.
that's life goes on, but that was probably the biggest thing that's very memorable, and we're still in contact. We got a little group me chat.
Yeah. Because I feel like every time I would see you, you had a crew. Like it was your group. You had a group, and I feel like it was a group. And I think Adrian was one of them.
Yeah,
and
Adrian,
Jermaine
Dex.
and Dex.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yep. We was
Super
tough.
tight.
Jermaine, we even brought in a younger cast too. They came up on us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one thing about us, we kept it 100, and they was a little nicer and kinder to the kids. I spit that fire because of what I went through.
Right.
Right.
So I'm like,
gotta
yo,
do
man,
it.
you coming here, man. Hey, look, this, that, whatever, Like, don't come through here with blah, blah. They'll be like, yeah, man, we would love that. Fuck that. If you ain't trying to do this, nigga, don't come through.
That's right. That's right.
Right. Right.
So I never get a
Right.
recruit. They never gave me
They
a
never
Right,
get
yeah, they
right.
ain't
He
wanna
was
bring him
never
again.
the host.
No, we ain't gonna give him an Aaron. No, we got to bring him to somebody else. Yeah, we got to tone that down a little bit.
Yeah. But I
Different
just wanted to keep it real because my experience I felt like I had to share that, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody else, they would share their own experience, you know. And so that leaves a kid or recruit, you know, leaving the campus like, oh, okay. It sort of like opens them up, you know what I mean? And you know, it's just, you know, that's just how I felt. You know, I won't go hold nothing back, especially what I went through. You know what I mean? It won't.
Right.
It won't. You know, I ain't saying I was supposed to have what I got, but you know, it was tough going through that.
Right.
You know, what
You
I mean?
earned it.
Yeah, it was.
You
It
earned
was
it,
tough.
for sure.
And so, I just want to make the best out of it. But I just want to leave that mark.
Yeah.
Like, don't be trying to shortchange me
Right.
or shortchange the situation.
That's right.
It's what it was, and sometimes the truth is hard to, you know, take with some folks.
For some folks.
Facts.
So the memories were all the folks that you got to meet down there, the relationships you formed, first time getting off the bus, the BBS, and seeing all that come out, and then of course your first start, and just kind of seeing yourself grow and mature. Do you feel like, you know, it kind of prepared, like I want to kind of UVA, we talk UVA all day because, you know, you and I, we haven't talked in 20 years, but I don't want to harp on that because we have so much to catch up with off screen. But moving on into your NFL career.
Well, I'll just say this.
Say this.
I'll say this. To cap off the UVA experience, it was like I had to grind my way through the school. You know what I mean? I went to summer school.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
I had to take the Spanish, you know, to get up out of there last 4-5 semesters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I put in the work. You know, I had a right to feel the way I feel. I put in that work. I
Right.
grinded
I know you
it through.
did.
Right.
I know you
And I
did.
graduated.
That's right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I definitely want your listeners and viewers to understand that, you know, because you go
right.
to a university.
All right. That's right. Amen.
You know, have these trials and tribulations while you're there. That don't mean, you know, nothing is given. You know, it's still a privilege to be there.
Amen.
And I wanted to take advantage of that and make sure that, you know, I came home with that paper.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mama said, you coming with the paper.
Yeah.
You coming home with that, for sure.
Yeah, because, you know, mama wanted to make sure.
Right.
Yeah, yes,
Right.
yes.
That was our agreement. That was part of the agreement. But yeah, you know, I feel the same way about that experience. Yeah, I will talk all day about that. But going on over into the NFL portion, talk about that. Talk about your transition from you're working, you're grinding, you graduated, you know, you finally got the time, you got the opportunity to show who you were. Now you're going on to where everybody dreams. They want to go play in the NFL. From a little kid, you always want to play in the NFL or the NBA, or you just, now you're finally going there after all of that work, through that whole journey of Newport News. Then you get through UVA. All right, one more door, NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that.
Well, when I first got drafted, you know, it was a relief.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like I said, I come from humble beginnings. I was able to buy my mom a house.
No.
You know, she got a roof over her head, that type of stuff.
right.
But when I actually got there at the Green Bay, it was somewhat an eye opener. You know, coach gave me, you know, the playbook and turned on the old film and like, yo, watch every game from last game. Give me all the notes, fill his notebook out, and we go from there. And I did the homework. I did all that, right? And then once we got on the field, I got a chance to see Brett Favre go to work.
Okay.
I was like, okay. Yeah, all right. I can do that. All right, you know. It's like, oh, yeah. I could see myself, you know what I mean, being an NFL quarterback at that time. mind you, he had already run the Super Bowl. I'm not saying I could have done better than Brett, but he showed me some stuff that by watching him, I was able to learn and understand and know that I could do what he does. May not be better, but I could do that.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I can make that pass.
Yep.
I can make that throw.
That's right.
I can run this offense.
Amen.
And that gave me the confidence to believe once I got there. Now the problem was, when you a rookie, you just I won't gonna play. I won't gonna play in front of Brett, right?
Right.
So I'm like, what the hell I do?
Right.
So Matt Hasselbeck was the backup, and he was the placeholder. And he was throwing touchdowns off fake field goals and extra points and shit. So I'm like, fuck, I ain't getting it.
Right. Right.
Ray Rose was bless his heart, man. That's my dog, man. My ace.
Shout out
Ray
to
Rose, the only black head coach
Yes.
Green Bay Packer ever had, drafted me. And he was like, look, I'm going to make you active. We going with 3 quarterbacks. So people was wondering, like, why are we going with 3 quarterbacks? He ain't ready. He ain't ready. So Ray must have saw something in me, right? That if something happened to the 2 that was in front of me, we would have been straight.
Right.
And so I earned a credited season my first year in the league. Now, going back, was I ready? Nah, first 10 weeks, I was fucking that up. I was drinking Henny.
If keeping it real was a person.
Right.
Wow.
I was like, I ain't getting in the
Definitely.
game. I'm going to practice and we gonna be straight. But after practice, I'm about to
Yeah. Yeah. You already knew.
I'm in Green Bay by myself. My shorty ain't up here. The lights get to blinking at 9 p.m. You know what I mean? By October, November, you got a foot of snow on the ground.
Man.
I'm like, yo, shit, where the nigga snow at?
Wow. I can only imagine.
Gosh. All right.
And what year was
I
that?
need some antifreeze around this out.
Wow. Yeah. You need more than that. You need that what you drinking right there.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was so I was to that point at the 10th week, after the 10th week or going to the 10th week, I was like, yo, I gotta get on my shit. The fuck am I doing? I started getting into the playbook and I started learning my stuff and having really good practices. And the season ended. They fired Ray Rose. And training camp's coming back around and they bringing in all these other quarterbacks. Rick Myers, Danny Worth. What the hell they bringing all these dudes in? Straight.
That was my next question.
I'm about to get a Hasselbeck and get the backup job.
Right.
What's up?
Right.
Man, coach tapped me on my shoulder. Was like, yo. I was like, what's up, man? He's like, yo, step over here. We just traded you. Huh? What? All right, fuck it. He said, look, y'all got an out. You got an out. No, he said y'all because it was Lamont Hall got traded with me for a linebacker New Orleans wanted. No, the Green Bay wanted, and Lamont Hall is a tight end, so we both went to New Orleans. And New Orleans sent them a linebacker. He was like, y'all got an hour and 20 minutes to get on the flight. I was like, yo.
What?
The business part of it.
I was like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, it was like that. We got shipped down to Jacksonville because the Saints were scrimmaging and practicing with Jacksonville, and I was just thrown in the fire from there. So it was I got down there with Jeff Blake, myself, and this guy named Jake DeLone.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And the reason I keep wanting to talk about your struggle is because there's so many people out here who go through that. There's so many people that have to wait and wait and wait and wait. But you're down there at Green Bay. They got 2 quarterbacks in front of you, one of them being Brett Favre. And then you've got Matt Hasselbeck. It's cold. You know, you from Newport News. You out in Green Bay. Okay. Now that's, come on. All right. So you in Green Bay. You in Green Bay. All right. And you're almost like, I want to talk about that mindset. Like, were you kind of like, oh, I'm in the NFL, you know, I'm just going to, you know, live the life for a little bit? Or was it more, you know what, here we go again? Or, you know, like, what was your mindset going in thinking, okay, man,
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, what was keeping you? Because almost it could have been like a PTSD moment.
it wasn't about me.
Yeah.
It was about my family, right?
Yep.
So, I just wanted to stack my chips.
There you go.
And I wanted to
you
make the
go.
best decision I possibly could with the money
All right.
that I received. Now, mind you, I'm a 4th round pick, 131st pick. You know what I mean?
Right.
Player taken in that draft. Mm-hmm. And you know, I seen like 7 other quarterbacks go in front of me that I know are not better than me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know, but I couldn't control that. And so
Right.
when I got my signing bonus, it was probably about 200 and some change. I bought a truck and got an apartment, and obviously paid my agent off, and I was thinking of ways of, you know, how I can put this money away.
Okay.
You know, so my
Had a
focus,
why.
I had a different focus. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't a 1st round pick. I didn't get 8 off the top. You know?
Right.
I didn't get 8 million.
Right,
off the top.
right.
You know what I mean? You talking about
Really?
100,000? That's you know, that's like startup money.
Right.
You know, like that's life startup money, right? For a kid, you know, that age at 22. So, you know, as all that, you know, stuff that I was going through, I was still mindful of, okay, I got to protect this money because that's all I got.
Right.
You know, and I was able to put some of it away, and and you know, and that was like that made me feel secure in a way. You know what I mean? You know how you put money away, like you ain't touching it.
Right.
You know?
That's the plan.
Back then, it was oh, that's a big deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nobody was really thinking about it. Because you got to remember, I'm a grown-ass men now. 30-something-year-old guys. Brett Favre showed me a check. He checked about $300,000-$400,000 for one game check. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm watching cats taking private jets back to the crib, back home and back. We driving an hour away to go to Milwaukee just to go party. Dudes with diamond, you know,
Right.
necklaces and watches and cars.
Right.
We're like, yo, man,
Yeah.
fuck, like, you
What-
know,
I need to get into this.
yeah. But I could front like I was,
Right.
like I had
That
that,
was typical
Right,
mindset. Right.
Right.
you know. And so, and I think overall, my mindset was really to, you know, before this over, I need to walk away with some scratch.
Right.
And I think that's where the maturity came in, that, you know, which in a sense went along with my personality. Because I was never that type.
You were never
you know that, you know what I
inconsistent.
mean?
Right.
Yeah.
You were always grounded.
Yeah, and so that just that was I thought that was instrumental. That was instrumental to the beginnings of, you know, the start of my NFL career. So yeah, that was really the mindset. You know what I mean? Because I knew I could play. It was just
Right.
a matter of time
Just get
if
the
it
right
was going to happen.
situation. Right.
You know what I mean? If
Right.
it was going to happen.
Right.
And but after being there and seeing the game on that level, I knew I could play.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're like, I could do that. I could do what he's
knew
doing.
I can do it.
Right.
So yeah, that's what it was about, though. It was about trying to put some money away and making sure.
Your family was taken care of.
Yeah.
Yep. Your why.
Yeah.
You kept your why in focus.
Yeah, I did.
kept your eye
I did. You know.
So
Yeah. Sidetrack sometimes. Just, you know, you gotta enjoy it too. You know, you gotta do you. But you know, it was always in the forefront.
yes. And Larry, if you chime in anytime. I was looking back at some of your film And it looks like you had some battles with some really good quarterbacks back then. Back then Kurt Warner was playing for the Rams, and they were the greatest show on turf, they called it. And they were coming into New Orleans, and y'all had a little something going on there too.
Oh yeah.
So I actually watched some of those highlights there, and you had some battles with Kurt Warner.
Oh yeah.
Talk about some of the folks you played with. I also want to get into. I know you were down in New Orleans when Katrina hit. And that's during that time too. And like I said, there's so much to ask you and talk to you about. I had to write notes down.
How long we got?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man.
Right?
I was like,
I mean,
I can imagine.
But I can imagine. I mean, the things that you've seen and been through down there during that time for that city. But yeah, I'll talk more on this. Some of the folks that you played against, some of your, talk about some of those games you were playing against, some of those quarterbacks in the NFC, some of your battles, some folks you would say some of the best players you played against and kind of got you up. They wanted you, when they were on the field, you was going to play your best,
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, playing with some grown men. And so one of the guys that really got me going was Willie Rofe.
Okay.
Offensive tackle.
Yes, sir. One of the best ever.
Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Yes, sir. And being a young buck, I'm in a huddle. He would kick me a foot like, "Come on, AB, let's go, AB, come on." Oh shit, Willie Rofe kicking me. I know it's time.
Yeah, it's time to get in now.
I know it's time to get down. And so, I had some early success in the league when I got to Green Bay. Unfortunately, when I got to New Orleans, unfortunately, Jeff Blake got injured. But that gave me an opportunity to get on the field. And, like I said, I've had some, at the time, the NFC was crunk. It was crazy.
Yeah.
We had some talented teams, as every year it is, but some talented quarterbacks. And, just to name a few, we, going against, obviously, Brett.
Yes. Yep.
Right? Going against him, knocking them off in the Superdome.
Right. Yes.
Kurt Warner. We played them 3 times in 45 days.
Yep.
Knocked them off twice.
Yep.
I saw McNabb, saw Culpepper, saw
That's right.
Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. I mean, I could go on and on with just the list of the names, but I mean, Vic, seen him.
You did, yeah.
So Brad Johnson. It was so like, I don't even have opportunity. I don't have these moments where I could just really, and thank you all for this, to really talk about it. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I put it in my past, but for you to ask about it, it's just like damn, I played against someone.
I'm like, yes.
Right.
And they were at their prime too when you were playing them.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just, it brings a smile to my face. At the end of the day, it was work, but it was good work. It was fun work, And oh man,
Was there anybody
Ray
that
Lewis,
just got you?
Matt Bornsapp,
Yeah.
Anthony McFarlane. I mean, the list goes on. Ezra Jane. I mean, it's just LaDainian Tomlinson.
It just keeps going.
I bet you it was fun playing against them, but it won't fun with them guys falling on you, like somebody like Sapp.
Oh, that's part of the game. You're gonna get dinged a couple of times, but that's that toughness comes out. That's that Newport News stuff come out.
7.5.
Yeah, so
shout out to 757.
No doubt. Just want to compete at the high level.
Right.
I tell the kids, we fear no man.
Right.
That's right.
Put our shoes on like they do, and they bleed like we bleed.
That's right.
So, but there were some fierce battles, and I would say this: Tampa Bay was the toughest defensive team that I ever faced.
Oh yes, back when Dungy was there.
Yes, yes. They talk about Ray Lewis, Baltimore.
Nah.
Really?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Tampa
Derek
Bay had
Brooks and
that cover too.
Rondé Barber and Simeon Rice.
Yep.
Nah, they were tough.
Derek Brooks.
They were. Dungy had them jokers
right.
like that.
They were right.
Yes. Yeah, so and we saw him twice.
Right.
Saw him twice a year.
That's what I'm like. That's why I said them guys hitting you every time you turn around, man. That ain't fun.
It was funny. It's like, back then we were joking about, like, man, how y'all gonna beat the Super Bowl champion twice and y'all ain't even make the playoffs, man? Like,
Yeah, I mean, explain that.
But twice. I mean, it's just how it goes, man. It's like you missed opportunities. It's missed opportunities. And each year that window of opportunity gets smaller and smaller each year. But that's the game. You got guys that play the game for a number of years and never make the playoff. I was fortunate enough to be on a team where we was able to knock off greatest show on turf, Kurt Warner and Marshall Falk, and
Right.
Isaac Bruce,
Torrey Holt, NC State dude.
London Fletcher. So it was.
Yeah.
That was probably the biggest highlight for the organization as well as myself.
Okay.
When we beat them in the playoff in that wild card.
Yes.
Yeah, because we did that without any starters in the main positions. I was a backup at quarterback. Willie Jackson, Robert Wilson, R.I.P. bless his soul. Ricky Williams was hurt. I think we probably had Terry Allen back there at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clemson.
Yeah. And then we had the defense. With defense, offensively, we was playing with a lot of backups, and it pretty much showed out that game. I mean, we all showed out that game. They was instrumental in helping me. With those stats of throwing about four touchdowns, I believe. And thank God Oz Akeem dropped the punt, right?
Man.
Because if they would have touched that ball one more time.
Right.
Yeah, you know which way it would have went.
Yes, exactly. Who had the ball last?
Yep. And we knocked them off. So, yeah, it was – I had early success, basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Once I got my, opportunity, it wasn't no turning back.
I was you was there.
I was ready because you remember after the 10th week, my rookie year,
right.
I turned on the switch. And then the opportunity came. I was prepared. Before I left Green Bay, I told one of the guys, I was like, look, I'm going to be a starter somewhere. And grace God, it happened. So I had early success. You know what I mean? And, like all careers kind of fizzled out a little bit, but I had some great moments.
Yes, you did.
They call it.
Aaron.
Another question. They call it the No Fun League, NFL. You got some guys that always talk about that, right? And I know it's a question I want to ask you. Playing with Joe Horn. How did you react when you threw that touchdown pass to him, man, and he pulled that cell phone out, man?
I ain't pay that dude no more. He's a character. So
as you can see.
I left it as that. So,
I'm taking you ain't vibe with him very well.
Yeah, he was all right, man. Some guys are different, man. You know what I mean?
He was different.
And I never throw any of my teammates under the bus.
No.
Right.
So he was a little different. And, his antics were his antics. And,
They talk about that. That's one of those me guys.
Yeah. So, you want all the glory, but none of the, you know what I mean?
When it's bad. Yeah.
I can't, I don't get down like that.
Right.
Because I'm accept when I'm wrong or when I'm not getting a job done. I can accept that, But we have, as men and young men, we had no time or space on the field to not take constructive criticism personally. We didn't have time for that. So as a leader of the offense, tell you, goddamn, you need to do something, you need to do it.
Right.
You don't need to be tucking your tail in between your butt and then.
Oh, he bucking.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, so, but, you're dealing with what, as a leader of the team, 4th, 5th in charge, you're still dealing with all these personalities.
Yeah, you got a 53-man roster.
Yeah, so, you know, it's just one of them.
Right.
You know, just one of them. But, you know, the no fun league comes in at when back then you got a uniform guy standing on the field telling you to pull your socks up.
Okay.
Or you don't have enough white showing on your socks.
Right, because it's
Now they color wash.
Right.
They don't care anymore.
They don't care, right.
So they kind of bought into the players, you know, way of, you know, what they should look like. See, the guys come up jersey half tucked in, you know what I mean? Like jersey
you guys get
out.
fined for that.
Yeah, you getting fined. You know, like $5,000. So you get a warning and warm-ups, and you come back out, they gonna fine you. So they was like finding cats for dancing in the end zone, doing this, doing that. And guys just trying to have fun. You know, it could be stressful at times as far as the game, but they were taking the fun out of the game.
Okay.
That's what they were doing. That's what they was doing. They was taking the fun out of the game. And the game was changing. You know, the game was changing.
Right.
And the ratings dip, you know, and that's why now you have pass-happy offenses now.
Pass happy, you got color rusted. They changing uniforms.
Yep.
Guys wearing what the hell they want to.
Right.
They got personalized cleats on.
Right.
Right.
You know, all that
Those
stuff.
ratings matter.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That revenue.
Right. And so and then is the business part of the game is that they don't. There's no warning. There's no warning. They cut you like that. Yeah, they can play games on you. Oh, we need you on the field. You've been in the training in the last 2-3 days. We need you on the field. Man, I ain't ready to go on the field. I'm still injured, hurt. You go on the field,
Right.
and you don't perform like you know how. They got you on film. They can cut you.
Then you got couch potatoes calling you garbage,
Right.
but don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Right.
Exactly. So you know that's part of the no fun league, and you know I always like to say I was a guy that liked to try to protect the smallest man on the totem pole, like if a free agent. I felt like he had rights too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the league sometimes. Don't get me wrong, it's $1 billion industry, but sometimes they cater to the top player.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They cater to the top player, but I'm like, what about this free agent?
That's right.
You know what I mean? Even on the team, it's like, yo, somebody got to fight for
Right. Fight for the.
them. You know, so I used to always try to show them love, show them the way. Tell them, but you know, guys coming in there with their own mindset because all they want is some paper. You know, but they don't know how to really work to go get it.
Right.
Right.
You know, they working hard but not working smart. So, yeah.
So you felt like as you were going through the things that you went through, you were just like, let me use some of this to help other folks.
Oh yeah.
Because you had been through it, you knew what it looked like, you seen it, done it, got the T-shirt. You're like, look, guys, this is the way, and you feel like you were kind of almost a mentor in that kind of way, how to get through those things that
Yeah,
everybody.
because I had a lot to draw from.
You sure did.
I had a lot to
did.
draw from, and yeah, it's a judgmental world, so everybody's gonna judge,
Right.
you know, or say what a person's supposed to do or supposed to be like.
Right.
But in reality, is you just have to be yourself.
Right.
Right.
And I tried very hard just to. I didn't try. I was just myself.
Yeah.
I stayed
Yep.
being me. You know what I mean?
Stay being you. So, you know, everybody has different conversations and dialogue about the black quarterback and the nuances of, oh, well, he's this, he's this, he's this, he's this, and then other folks are said they're this, they're that, they're this. So the evolution of the black quarterback and kind of having to go through that down in New Orleans. I know, you know, Jeff Blake was there, and then you were there, and now where we are now with the black quarterback. What are your feelings on that? Because I don't even have to speak on it because you know all the things that have been talked about. You know that this is that, and this is them, and this is what they can do, and this is what other folks can do, and you know there's been that debate for years, and you went through it. And look where we are now. How are your feelings about that from when you were in the league to now? Because when you think about, the quarterbacks that are in the league now, what do you think?
It has evolved.
Yeah.
Going back to Marlon Briscoe, rest in peace. Marlon. I'm enthusiast for black quarterbacks.
Yes.
Looking back when we didn't have that opportunity, and we weren't looked upon as as a leader of the team, like quarterback. Look at someone like Marlon Briscoe, his career, how he stuck it out, he hung in there. When he got on the field, he did his thing, right? And still, yet they took that away from him, for him to become a receiver. He was on that 72 Dolphins team, undefeated team, as a receiver, after he had put that work in at Denver. And, you fast forward to when I was drafted, right before the millennium in 99, he had Carl Pepper, he had McNabb, Sean King, myself, just the three of us, McNabb, Culpepper, myself. We were instrumental in keeping the torch lit. Because you got to remember, we had Slash, Cordell Stewart out there too. So Pittsburgh was using him to their ability.
Right.
Again, another great quarterback, a brother who left us, Steve McNair. So when we came out, I felt like it was, imperative that we kept that torch lit.
Right.
And so what we were able to do is really showcase our abilities.
Right.
In a way that we've always done since we played the game.
Right.
Right. And so now have, to fast forward to present time, is that you're looking at Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson. We can say it's been the position has been revolutionized, but at the same time, I don't want us to be looked at as black quarterbacks.
Exactly.
I want us to be looked at as quarterbacks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who happen to play the game in an exceptional way.
Yes.
And those are strengths that we have to offer. Because they don't say that about, there's no connotation when you talk about Steve Young.
Right.
Or Fred Tarkenton.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? You don't have that.
Right.
So I just feel as though it's beautiful to watch someone like Lamar Jackson just do his thing. It's just so scary.
Right.
Like, you don't know
where you going.
Right.
Where
you
you
don't know
going.
what's going to happen.
Right.
It's beautiful to watch Tyler Merritt. But it's also beautiful to watch the kid out of Buffalo. It's beautiful to watch.
I love it.
Patrick Mahomes. It's beautiful to watch Tom Brady. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just the position in itself.
Nice.
And so I think we got a long way to go on how we talk about the position.
Right.
And how we, as black quarterbacks, are looked at in the position. I don't think it's fully accepted. I remember I was out somewhere, and I probably just got to start nod. And we was in New Orleans. And I believe we was in New Orleans. They was like, you don't know who this is? This is Aaron Brooks. She was like, this white girl. She was like, who? He's black. He's starting?
Wow.
So it was like, and that's like early 2000s. So it's we got a long way to go.
Yeah.
You also got smaller markets, big markets.
Right.
Tomato, it doesn't matter. Just want that to be looked at in the same breath.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Especially when you got commentators.
That's
Former athletes.
yes.
Talking about the game.
Right.
Talking about these quarterbacks.
Right.
Or any other quarterback.
Right.
I think more emphasis needs to be talked about the player at at his position, and not just the player that separating the player from the athlete.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like it's like you pulling all his attributes out,
Right.
Right.
and you're not saying what he's actually is. No, he's a quarterback who
Right.
happens to do these things.
Right.
So
Yeah. And that's what I was getting at, is that when you talk about black quarterbacks, people like to say, oh, they're fast, they can run out of the pocket. You know, all these stereotypes about athletic ability, but they don't talk about the intelligence, what's behind, like, oh, he's this or he's that, and he's crafty, he can read the defense. And those are things you hear about when you talk about white quarterbacks. You're talking more about, oh, well, he can read the defense, he recognizes this, and oh, he's a very heady, player. Just those things that even commentators talk about while the game is going on. Those are things that people were talking about in the past about what the skill set was.
Right.
And they continue to talk about those attributes. Whereas you should, like you said, just talk about the quarterback, and that this is a quarterback that's good at his position and he's leading the team, et cetera, et cetera. But just those attributes and adjectives, do you think things are changing? Do you think things are moving away from that and moving away from
not really.
the Randall Cunninghams and the, just, oh, he's this, and almost putting you in a box.
Not really.
And that's what I'm getting at. And,
Not really.
And yeah.
Because some of them don't even want us there in the first place.
Exactly.
It's plain and
True.
simple. They don't
True.
want you there.
Right.
It's still teams that only have you, like,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
Blake left,
Stand in the
I was the
pocket.
only black dude in the quarterback room. When I was in college, I was the only black dude in the quarterback room. So you got a lot of teams that's out there with just one black quarterback.
Yeah.
Whether they're backup or the starting role. And so, there's kudos for us being in the room.
That's right.
But at the
That's
same
right.
time, you have situations where people don't want you to be that guy.
Right. You look at
They don't
Antoine
believe
Randall.
in. They don't believe in you.
You're going to be able to make those decisions, make the right plays, lead the team.
Right? They
Yeah,
don't
look at Antoine Randall. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut across you, but look at him. They converted him over to a quarterback. To a receiver, right?
So and some of them having their reasons, some of them rightfully so, but at the same
Right.
time, it still existed.
It's still there. It's still there. That's real talk. Real talk. But yeah. So you led them to their first playoff victory. You're there down in there, 2014 Hall of Fame down in New Orleans. Those things will always be there. Your time in New Orleans, overall.
It was up and down.
Yeah.
My wife and I gave that city all we had, far as foundation, we supported literacy.
Amen.
We partner up with the local libraries to get the kids registered, to get library cards, and had them to a pledge to read 10 books. We had a tremendous thing going there. I think a lot of times people, in a sense, take things the wrong way.
Okay.
To me, I've always been upfront, truthful,
Yeah.
as well as faithful. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
You are.
my loyalty still lies. I love the city. Don't get me wrong, but you always got some knuckleheads that understand where you're coming from when you speak.
Right.
New Orleans, like many other cities in America, have their challenges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the times that I spoke about certain things didn't sit well with some people.
Okay.
So what?
Okay.
That's
It's going to happen.
it's the reality, right? And but at the same time, watching us play, it's like a movie ticket. You either buy the ticket, watch the show,
That's right.
or you don't. Or if you don't like the show, you walk out.
That's it.
And I felt like I gave the city,
Okay.
the city everything that I had. I think one of the challenges that many people don't realize or understand is that, New Orleans is the deep South. You know what I mean? So when you speaking for me, when I speak about New Orleans,
yeah.
I love the culture. I love the food. I even love the people. I even love the language. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You heard me? You know, I joke
Yeah,
around and use their, you know, language, you know, the way they talk a lot, because I just love everything. I love that about them. But also, it's still a deep South. There's a lot of service jobs, you know. Just, you know, it has obviously, like, again, crime, you know, drugs. But it's a wonderful, it's a wonderful city.
Okay.
And I just thought that at the time, and I still think at certain times that the political forces at B don't do enough for the city and for the people of the city.
Okay.
Which frustrated me a lot.
Yeah.
See, Virginia, we don't go through that. I mean, we have our own challenges, but we don't,
Right.
you know, we went through a time of massive resistance here in Virginia, but it's heavy down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's heavy, and
And I didn't even go into the Katrina and the response and all that kind. I didn't even go into all that.
Yeah,
'Cause that's a whole nother podcast.
so
But
it's heavy.
yeah.
But you know, I was, you know, I when I walk away, you know, I try to let people understand that I enjoy the game. You know, and one of the knocks on me was like, "You was laughing all the time." No, because I'm having fun.
Right.
I'm having
I'm getting
fun.
paid.
Right.
Right.
I'm
getting
having
paid to
fun.
do the game I love. What?
And why you laughing again? Because this motherfucker just fucked up, and I just told him not to do it, and he did it anyway. And I look at him, and he like shaking his head. I'm like, come on, man.
Right.
What the hell, man?
That's funny
You
to
got
me.
be kidding me, man. This funny to me.
That's
'cause
funny,
we just
right.
talked about
We just
this
talked
shit.
about
it.
You know what I mean? Okay, they threw a wrinkle at it. Well, this is what we need to do next
Right.
time. Okay, it's like, well, we keep making these same mistakes. We're not going to get where we're at.
Amen.
You know, let alone I still got to deal with my own
Right.
my own
Right.
issues. You know what I mean?
Preach.
Right.
So people
Preach.
ain't really, I don't think
Preach.
they saw that, but I enjoy the game. I enjoy being in New Orleans. You know what I mean? I loved it. You know, all the festivals, the Essence, you know,
Yeah.
you know, Canal Street, Bourbon Street, the food, Emeralds. It's just on and on. It's just, you know, cultivating it. It fills your soul. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It fills your soul. I really did, man. But yeah.
So I know you're doing a lot in the community back in the Tidewater area. I was wondering, did it start down in New Orleans? Like, I know you were starting to get into the foundations down there, the Literacy Foundation. Is that where you started to get, you know, actively involved in the community and doing things to support the town, support the city?
It started in Green Bay because
Okay.
as rookies, you know, you have like 3 appearances.
Okay.
So I was like, yo, I'm gonna go to this. Maybe I go to an extra one. And then, you know, speaking to kids and people
Yes.
is not an issue for me. And
Okay.
so I started the Foundation in New Orleans because I wanted, you know, to really try to help the people out. I try to help the kids and children out. You know, I had a little brother down there that I had built a strong bond with. I even brought him down to Virginia.
All right.
Took him to, I think, King's Dominion. We had a great time.
Yeah.
You know, he was at this I don't want to call it like a group home type thing situation with other kids and stuff. And used to throw dinners, parties, and stuff like that. It was just, you know, I felt like, you know, people wanted to see what I was about.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do something that was meaningful to the community. And but that's where it started. You know, that's where it started. My mom read a lot of books. You know, obviously going to UVA, wife from UVA. So it was just like, you know, what better way to get back than through education?
Yes. Yes.
You know, I tried the football camps and stuff. I ain't like that stuff, man. It's just spoiling a bunch of kids. You know, some of the older kids gonna get it, but then you got the little rugrats, the little smaller ones, right? You just having fun with them. You're having fun with them,
Man,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
which is cool.
Right.
Keep
But
it
I'm
real
like,
with
I'd
the
rather
person.
put a book in your hand.
Right.
I'd rather, you know,
Right.
Right.
tell you something about something else than, you know, you can do this at home. But yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
how it all started.
I saw started there.
Yeah,
And
just being in the community.
So doing that in the community, I know you're doing some developments down in the Tidewater area and, with the community. Can you talk a little bit about that? Talk about just how we talked about on the phone, you're cutting down trees, building up things. That's how you put it. I'm cutting down trees.
Yeah, that was infrastructure.
Yes.
Well, I had an opportunity with a business partner of mine. He asked me to come in and be a part of it wasn't even subdivision, a development.
Okay.
This older family was selling their property, and it's probably about 17 acres.
Okay.
And it was in Williamsburg.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, man, I'll get in it. I'll see what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
So I invested a little something in it, and then over time, I basically took over the company. And what we did is basically turn 17 acres into a 26-lot subdivision in Williamsburg. It's called Burlington Woods. It's off of Long Hill Road.
Yeah, I know what that is.
And and so we had to knock all the trees down. That's what
you said. You said knock the trees down.
Put the infrastructure in, curb, gutter, sewer. Just put the entire system in. And going through the process of hiring engineers and contractors, and so we was able to do that. Was this back in 2006, right before I got out?
Okay.
Yeah, right before 2006, and right at 2006, and took us a couple of years to get it done, probably a year or two to get it done, and we basically partnered with Brian Holmes. And we had them basically sell and buy the lots that we did, and they was able to sell all the lots out, and we they bought the lots from us, and so from there, I just went home like Local News, EDA,
right,
trying to do something, what you got? You got anything on the table out there? And so we responded to a RFQ request for qualification, and assemble a team together real quickly.
Okay.
And we came in with the right mix and was awarded the deal, and so awarded the project, and so I end up partnering with Amada Hoffler.
Okay.
For some stronger backing, so now it's time to get, you're talking about like over 100,000 square foot of commercial real estate.
Wow.
So now it's time for me to get somebody who know what the hell he doing. Who got deeper pockets.
Right.
So no shame in my game. And so I partnered with them, and we were and obviously between the city, my company, which is Tidewater Partners Property and Development, and Arthur Hoffler, we came together, put the plan together, and what's out there now, you got a police precinct, grocery store anchor with some retail shops. Grocery store is Piggy Wiggly. We got a Family Dollar out there.
All right.
We have huge 4-story building, been leased by Hunters and Ingalls. There's some new construction going out there now. So yeah, we're well on our way of trying to to complete that development out there. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun.
That money work.
Yeah. I'm about 2 exits from you. I know exactly where that is.
So you learn a lot. So it's a big boy game. It's a big boy game.
Boy, you gotta tell me. I don't know about too much about that, but I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not in any rush.
All right.
More birthdays.
To be exactly. Yeah. I'm not chasing deals and anything like that. Pretty happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. So from Ferguson to UVA to New Orleans to now you're in the Richmond area. Got a couple developments down in Williamsburg. I think you got some, like you said, talking about down in Tidewater. So
Actually, one of the Newpreneurs is starts on 28th Street. I grew up on 16th for you listeners and
look
viewers.
at that.
So I'm like right at the crib.
Right at the
Y'all heard that?
Right at home,
wow.
Y'all heard that 7-5?
Yes.
Right on Jefferson Avenue. You can't miss. It's called Brooks Crossing.
Brooks Crossing. What?
Yeah.
All right now. I'm gonna get me a sip too. Go ahead, Larry.
7-5. Y'all heard that right? Because you know we got a lot of 757 guys that dislike or like the show, so I got to throw that shout out. I always mess with them. That's why you keep hearing me say that.
It's been a debate. 804-757. He got the 434 over there today, representing.
It's just the whole state.
Well, people don't realize back in the day, 757 used to be 804.
Say it again. Say it again for the people in the back.
757 used to be 804.
But that's a whole different conversation.
A whole different conversation.
It's about to change again, I believe.
I heard that, but don't speak that too loud.
757 is gonna stick forever.
Yeah, it should though. I like the ring to it though.
Yeah,
I love that 7-5.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, we're gonna talk about this. I guess we're gonna wrap this up here and just talk about how you from the young man who, was playing all the sports there to where you are now. Who would you say Aaron Brooks is today? And what to wrap this up? All of those experiences, all of those tribulations, all of those trials, all of those up and down, up to 2022. Who's Aaron Brooks today?
A dad.
Yeah,
I heard that.
A
dad.
Husband.
A husband.
Real estate developer.
All right. All right now.
Still humble, individual.
You
laid back,
have been.
just a moderate dude.
Yeah.
Still like to compete.
In what?
Right now it's a little golf.
Okay.
Golf.
All right.
I tried. Look, you can laugh at. Look, I joined a 35 and up league up this week.
Oh wow!
I played like 2 games, got hurt real quick. I was like, oh Lord,
In golf?
Nah, this is basketball.
Basketball. Oh.
35 and up league basketball.
Oh, I was like, man, leave that alone,
I can't
man.
do it.
Yeah, that's it.
I
man.
ain't
You
played up
tripping.
and down in 10 years.
You tripping. But nah, just I'm still a competitor.
Yeah.
I'm still me. I'm just real chill, still real laid back. Family man.
How many kids?
3 kids.
3 kids.
Yeah, I
All
got
right.
twin boys, so they balling right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fun. That's fun helping them, go through their little journey. But I don't know.
How old's the oldest?
My daughter is 15.
15, and the twins
15. My daughter's 15, and the twins are 13.
are 13. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had that in common. I had twins too. We'll have to talk about that too.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, yeah. 20 now.
Wow.
20.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah,
So
I guess. Go
I
ahead.
still
Go ahead.
get down. I still go back around the way a little bit. Kick. I don't do too much hanging, man. It's crazy out in this world.
No more.
That's a whole different subject too, man.
Sleep by 10.
Hanging around old heads. I've been hanging around old heads.
Right.
Man.
They keep it live though, man. Yeah, they keep it live.
Yeah. So.
So look, I just want to say we appreciate you coming on. Hearing this story is it's just a reminder of just resilience, belief, attitude, trust, faith, all those things impacting who you are, so that now you can bring other folks up with you. You had your success, but the journey is so powerful. All of it. I mean, all of it was just so powerful to hear you go from step to step to step to step, and now you're dad. all of it leads up to I'm a daddy, and now I'm going to instill that to my kids, and now they're going to know what it looks like to work hard and just believe no matter what. It's been an honor having you here on set.
Appreciate
like
that.
I said, we're so appreciative of you coming in. I didn't know all the nuances. I just knew a little bit on the outside. So getting to hear your story has definitely inspired me to hear everything that you've, I would say, persevered through, and just all the stuff you and your wife are doing now for the community. We appreciate it. Yeah.
That's for sure. It's definitely been a grind. I ain't gonna lie. It's been a grind. But I finally got to a point where I can really enjoy it.
Yes.
And see the fruits of the labor, you know what I mean?
Amen.
And nobody can take that away.
See, the grind is kind of fun for me, especially when you're passionate about whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a grind, but it's also fun when you're going through that process. So.
Definitely.
I definitely thank you all for allowing me to have this platform to talk about my career,
Yes.
myself a little bit.
Yes.
You know, like I said, I keep to myself. You know, I'm still cool, real humble, but I ain't out there beating my chest trying to tell somebody what I did. You know, so I appreciate y'all for allowing me to do this.
No, we appreciate you coming on, man.
It's been fun.
Taking your time out your schedule to do this, man.
Yes, we really mean that. Like, this is great. It's been a treat having you here. And like I said, it's inspiring. I think it's going to inspire some folks, and I appreciate that you were able to let us dig in there, and you were open and real with us. And you don't know no other way.
No, I don't. I don't.
You don't know no other way.
I really don't. I just got more work to do, so when I come back the next time, I got more to tell.
Did you hear that? He's coming back. There's going to be a part 2. We're holding you to that.
Holding you to that.
I don't know. We always happy to have you come back in and hear some of them stories with some of the other gentlemen. If you could bring them back on too, you can do that. Or hey. We're open.
Always open here.
Yeah,
yes.
No doubt. I could definitely.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, Larry. Anything else you got?
Oh, we wrapped it up.
Oh, wrap it up.
Wrap it up, man.
Wrap it up. So thank you again, Aaron. And we out.